We primarily do theater shows. We do 3 of those every single year. 1 in the spring, 1 in the summer, and then 1 during the fall or the holiday season. We partnered with the city. We host New Year's Eve. We do St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July. We do Magic in the Cloud. We have free movie nights that we're bringing the community in to show classic movies.
And the fact that the community gets in, the packed house, and it's cool to get everyone together.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing is watching the
Hey, St. Cloud, we're here at the Women's Club for the next episode of Live in St. Cloud podcast. And my name is Jason Levy from Around My Town. And of course, you know Dalton and special guest Jason from Theater in the Cloud. Another Jason.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Welcome. Or Jay. How do you go by?
I go by Jay, generally speaking. Like, Jason's my given name, but yeah, I like Jay.
Okay,
It's
Jay.
Don't
easier.
use his legal name.
Yeah, please. Edit that part out.
Well, this is great. If you haven't been, so they do a lot of great things for the community, but for the most part, we do a lot of different events and a lot of theater performances. So if you could get started about, talking a little bit about those.
Absolutely, yeah. So Theater in the Cloud, we started, our first shows were in 2021, right after the pandemic. We thought it would be the perfect time. Everybody had been away and bring people together in the community. We primarily do theater shows. We do 3 of those every single year. 1 in the spring, 1 in the summer, and then 1 during the fall or the holiday season. We have kind of a rubric that we use. The first one's going to make you think, second one makes you laugh, and the third one brings the community together. So that's kind of the idea behind it. We also do a lot of other special events. We work with the city. We partnered with the city. We host New Year's Eve. We do St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July. We work with them in a really amazing way. St. Cloud is just super awesome. We do a magic weekend. We call Magic in the Cloud. We have free movie nights that we're bringing the community in to show classic movies. Our first one is going to be this December. We're showing It's a Wonderful Life, which is super cool. We're just going to bring people in and have cocoa and, popcorn, caramel popcorn, that kind of thing, and, just kind of do it up. So
That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And then when's it, the next show, the Fully Committed show?
Yeah, Fully Committed is coming up in December. It's the middle 2 weekends of December. I'm blanking on the exact dates right now, but if you go to our website, Theater in the Cloud, and it's spelled with an R-E, Theater in the Cloud, go to the website and you can see all of the information there and follow us on social media.
Yeah. So this is the set,
that.
right? We're actually.
This is the set,
we're
yeah.
actually in
This
the
is
set.
a one-man show that we're doing. It's the first time that we've tried anything like this. It was on Broadway, so one actor plays about 32 characters.
Unreal.
He's a receptionist or a kind of a receptionist at a restaurant, at a high-end restaurant, and everybody calls out. So he's not only the person taking the call, but he becomes the character on the other side as well. So lots of voices. It's been really cool to watch him kind of evolve these different characters from the very beginning. So yeah.
Did you have someone in mind to do that, or did people audition?
No, we actually had somebody in mind to do that. We did a show last year called Waiting for Godot. It's a pretty popular play, and he was one of the actors in that show. And after that, he wrote and starred in a production at Breakthrough Theater. So he's really involved in acting and really wants to get his hands in there. And so we thought, his name is Solomon Jordan. Great guy,
Great actor name.
Super talented.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't need a stage
talented
name.
at all. No, he comes right in with it. So he's fantastic. Josh Steenkamp, one of our directors, is directing the show along with Mark Williams, one of the other directors, and we have Harmony, who's our stage manager, who's part of it. So it's a small crew that puts this one on together. We've had as many as like 12 to 15 performers and tech people in a show, so they can get pretty big. Yeah,
Love it. Yeah, I've seen a couple of the shows. Very nice, very cool. And the fact that the community gets in, the packed house, it's awesome. It's cool to get everyone together.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing, I think, is watching the community come around this idea. We know that we wanted to bring it to St. Cloud, but we didn't really realize how much they wanted it and needed it to be here. And it's been cool seeing like your first couple of audiences are people that you know, your friends, your family, and then when the first person who shows up that is not anyone that
awesome.
you know, it's amazing to see. And then just watching it grow. We're getting ready to go into our 5th year now.
Amazing.
And you know, we're really excited. We've got auditions for our first show next year coming up.
Yeah.
That's called Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. It's a series of monologues. It's really fun. It's a wonderful look at humanity through a lot of different lenses, a lot of different characters. So, but those auditions are coming up during the run of Fully Committed.
So it's during the same.
during the run.
How might someone get involved in that? Since you take on volunteers, does it start with usually someone walking through the door and watching a show and then inquiring? And
yes.
How does that process usually play out?
That's exactly how it goes. They'll come in and see what it is we're doing, either watching a show or coming in and auditioning and seeing what it is that we're doing, and then getting involved in either. We have people that help us at the front desk taking tickets and passing out the playbills. We have a popcorn machine and a slushy machine, so we do popcorn and slushies and sodas during the show, so they get involved in that way, or just in general helping us out with the production, just in any way that they can. So they also help us out at the markets. We go to the monthly markets and we do events around town, so they get involved that way as well. Yeah, it's really interesting how theater has a way of finding people when they're young, and then they'll get away from it, and then they get older, and they're like, I really want to get back involved again. And this is a wonderful thing, and it's in our backyard. Like, Kissimmee is getting further and further away the more people that we have move here. Orlando's as far, if not further, time-wise. And we wanted to give people an elevated experience of theater that's a community theater. So we're bringing a lot of years of entertainment. Josh and I were professional entertainers. Josh runs an entertainment company now. Mark's been involved in theater for a really long time. So we're bringing a really high level of theatership, I guess. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're bringing a high level where we want to teach people. We consider ourselves a teaching theater. So if anyone that has never acted before to people who have been in multiple shows, you're more than welcome to be part of it. And we've had people from like 15 years old to 80 years old in our production, so a wide range of people.
And what's the ratio usually on that? Is it usually people that are like, this is always something I wanted to get into and now I'm like putting my foot in the door?
Yeah.
Or is it like, so what's the ratio of that versus I've done some of this before and now maybe I've moved here and now I just kind of want to keep doing it?
That's a great question. I would say it probably tilts in the favor of people wanting to try it that have never done it before. So maybe like 60-40, people that have never tried it and they want to get involved. We have had a lot of people that were involved in theater when they were younger. And like I said, they just, life happens and you move away from being an artist is a hard way to go for a career. So they go into something else. And what's also really fascinating about theater is that it helps you in all your other aspects of life, because it gives you the ability to learn how to speak in front of a group of people and like really play through situations that you would never get to experience in your actual life. And if you ever happen to get that in your real life, then you've worked it out through stage. So it's really an amazing thing.
Plus, I think for most actors and most artists, it would be a little bit of catharticism as well.
100%, yeah. In fact, we've had a couple of people go through the show, getting to be behind the scenes, and I'm the marketing director for the theater, so I get to watch it from the audience, from the very first reading to the very last performance, and it's really, really cool to see the arc that the actors themselves go through, not just the characters, but them moving through those characters and expressing themselves. Really brings a lot to you as a person. So yeah, I highly recommend getting involved and being part of it, because it really does affect every aspect of life.
Right, and I think just being in front of an audience is a really key thing to learn.
Yeah.
Whether it's theater, whether it's speaking at business meetings, learning the enunciation, the articulation, how to really present yourself. cadence. I mean, all kinds of things come into play that you don't think about.
that you don't think about at all, and you get a lot of practice. They go through, it's saying the same line over and over, literally from day one. For 3 months, we're working on doing a 90-minute show, line by line, dissecting the words, how to make something more interesting when you say it. So, like when you think about business, you have like your elevator pitch,
Right,
and you
right.
want to be able to concisely express what it is that you're doing and how you're helping people and who you're doing it for, and being on stage and being live and knowing that there's no take backs, there's no editing.
yeah.
You just have to go with it. It's
I would say some of the best people that I've met that are good at that and good at public speaking and good at things like that. Even in my field, primarily with real estate, working with mentors I'm working with now, when they walk into a house, all of a sudden it's a performance.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative connotation of
That's
they're putting
true.
on a facade, but like
Right.
those that tap into, I get my stage now and it's my time to shine.
Yeah.
They know how to perform
Absolutely.
at that level.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing that you find, and I didn't really understand it before we started this theater, right? I'd been in entertainment and been involved in theater, but adjacent to it, and I never really understood how acting through a character you can find your own voice.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're bringing that to it, and I think that's what carries
Yes,
over.
yep.
That you find your voice, and then you're not afraid to be yourself in front of other people.
Right.
It's very vulnerable.
So as much as you're involved in the community, do you also get involved with schools and helping them with the theater component?
We've worked with some dancing schools and some acting schools. We haven't worked with the public school system yet or the private school system. We've put out feelers, but they're also crazy busy. They've got
course.
hundreds of kids that they're dealing with.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're working on establishing those relationships now. And again, we're in year 4, the end of year 4, so we're really new.
Right.
Still no one knows who we are.
Yeah.
And
Let's change that.
Yes, please. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's great. I mean, it would need to start during the summer times to do
Yeah.
summer courses and summer classes.
Yeah,
Summer camps.
We've been in the process the last couple of years of sort of towing into those waters.
Yeah.
We have a workshop. We're looking at starting monologue workshops, so
That's cool.
kind of that
Yeah.
learning how to audition, how to be in front of a person and
That helps
get
with
through.
a business interview.
but
Like
everything.
that helps with everything.
1,000%,
I don't
yeah.
think enough people are taught. There's plenty of things you're taught in school, but things like that,
Yeah.
nailing a business interview, you
Yeah.
can learn that through theater.
Through
pretty-
theater,
pretty
it
easily.
really does help. So yeah, if you're looking at interviews, come out. It's a wonderful way to get used to speaking to people. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, classes. We're planning on classes.
camps.
We've looked at doing camps. We had partnered with the city a couple of years ago for a camp. It didn't quite work out as we wanted it to, but nothing ever does the first time, so it's always a learning thing.
Right.
And you just do it again, just like the shows.
Yeah.
So
great.
yeah.
So speaking of, what's next? In the next 6 months. So what are we looking at?
So next 6 months we've got rehearsals for we have this show
have the show,
again
fully
in December,
committed,
right?
right.
Fully committed. So that's coming up at the end, and the movie we're doing the It's a Wonderful Life. We're then doing the rehearsals for Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll. Once that's done, we'll be rolling into rehearsals for Driving Miss Daisy, right? Or auditions. Yeah, before rehearsals, auditions. We'll be doing that for Driving Miss Daisy. That'll be our summer show,
Okay.
and then our Christmas show is one that the 3 of us founders are going to be doing for the community that we will keep secret for right now.
Okay.
So
That's 2025.
2025. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Oh yeah, and the film festival. Yeah, we do so much.
You do so much.
Yeah, there's
We
a
have
lot.
my friend,
Yeah,
my
friend
partner's in the
background.
back miming stuff for me right now.
We got
So
cue
yes,
cards,
film
guys.
festival. Yeah, but definitely follow us on social media. That's the best way for people to and on your app.
Yeah,
because
yes,
we
sir.
put our all of the events on
Yes,
there
sir.
as well. It's a great way of following us. We put all of the auditions, we put all of the rehearsals, so everybody knows what's going on.
So what's the
there.
website? Theater in the Cloud.
theaterinthecloud.com, and you can follow us on social media under the same Theater in the Cloud.
And you're in every market. You're in
We're everywhere. We post. We try to be as active as we can be. Social media is a crazy thing as it is. So, we try to get out there. And again, we're part of the community. We're at the monthly markets. We try to be at all of the festivals that we have in town, and participate. We just love giving back to the community, and we love St. Cloud. Like, this place is just amazing and a beautiful place.
So I was going to touch on, sorry. I was going to touch on, you and I spoke about it before we started rolling the camera.
Yeah.
Let some people know why they might recognize your face right now, because this is coming out in December.
Yes.
What were you doing in October, and how did that come about?
So in October, my face was on a video for our Trail of Terror over at Peghorn Park. We partner with Parks and Rec. We love everybody over in Parks and Rec. They do an amazing job for us. So they asked us to do a video. There was an introductory video. It was silver screens, basically, was the theme. It was scary movies. And so we sat around and brainstormed an idea, and then got in here one day and just filmed a bunch of stuff. And Josh edited together, and we put it up there. And that's basically how it came about. We've worked with them in the past on the project, helping out with the actors, kind of teaching them how to do screams and jump scares and all of that stuff. And so this year they wanted us to be part of it in that way, which was
awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, and it's kind of
video's awesome.
It's super cool to get recognized by people from around town. Like, hey, I know your face.
I went, because I've gone every year for like the past 4 years, and it was right after you and I met.
Okay.
So I was like, hey.
Nice,
And I told someone next to me, I'm like, I know that.
It's super cool. It's super cool. I love being...
I plug Theater in the Cloud. I was like, yeah, they do Theater in the Cloud. I know that too. So it's cool to have that.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to do more of that with the city as well. We really do support the community in every way that we can.
Well, and speaking, you mentioned earlier about the volunteers. Everything is volunteer. Everyone is.
Yeah, this is 100% volunteer based. We are a 501c3 organization, so we have sponsors that help us out with our shows, plus the sales from concessions and things like that. But the whole organization is volunteer based, and we're over 100 volunteers in our organization at this point, which is, again, it blows me away that many people are interested in supporting what it is that we do. We do have a core group of people that are here all the time. Harmony is one of our big supporters. She's in the shows. She helps stage manage. She's just really fantastic. Helps us out with the monthly markets. We have Darren Wright, who's our first ambassador. He helps us out with the markets and the festivals. And then we have Alex Daly, who's our community outreach director. And she works with our sponsors, gaining new sponsors and partnerships, and just kind of coordinating a lot of things for us. So that's a kind of the core group. And then we have just this wonderful support group that we can reach out to and help us set up the theater, come in, and we have a couple of people that just absolutely love dishing out popcorn. They love making it, they love dishing it out. It's super awesome. So it's fantastic.
Off the wall question, because it just popped into my brain when you were talking about the volunteer work and things like that. So it was a very learned this word recently, extemporaneous thought. So do you find that with people volunteering and coming in here and helping you guys out so much, and there's really no paycheck behind it, do you find that, especially for your actors, it brings out far more passion? Yeah, they're here because they want to be, not because it's a job or something like that. This really is a passion project for all of us. Right. It's the reason why we started it. And I really do believe that leaders in organizations have to have they're the brightest light in the organization, and everybody else follows from that. And the three of us that have been here since the beginning just absolutely are passionate about bringing this to the community. And it, that the famous saying of, your candle can light 1,000 candles. And I really do believe that's what's happened here. They see that we're serious about it. They see that we love it and we have a great time with it, and that just carries over to them. So
my dream is for this to go as long as Osceola Arts has been going, if not longer. We want to be here 100 years or more.
That was going to be
legacy project.
a long-term question, because he mentioned the stuff in the next year.
Yeah.
That was going to be a question I leaned into, was 5-year vision, 10-year vision. And since you mentioned the Osceola Arts, how would you want to kind of separate yourself from it?
So we really are specifically St. Cloud. We, the film festival, for example, we specifically curated films that were either shot here specifically or shot by local filmmakers.
Cool.
So we really are about St. Cloud. That's, we don't do musicals. That's one way that our theater sort of separates ourselves. A lot of other theaters do musicals, and we really don't have the space. And because everyone else is doing them, it gives us the opportunity to do things that not many other people will do. And Josh is fantastic at finding really interesting plays that get you to think. He sees comedy in things that you wouldn't necessarily find comedy in. He's really wonderful at choosing plays like that for us. So it kind of separates us, and that's basically we're all kind of doing the same thing. All of us theaters are doing the same thing, but for us, that's really what separates us.
Well, going back to the volunteers, I saw something on Facebook. You had thousands of hours. How many? How many hours of volunteers?
At the end of this show, we will be over 7,000 hours
Unreal.
of community service in our 4 years,
great.
which is like we're almost at like a whole year of community service hours, which is
insane.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so wild. And we couldn't do it without we were talking to those volunteers. We couldn't do it without their passion. To be able to call them up and say, hey, would you like to be part of this? You're going to be outside. It's going to be 90 degrees in a tent. And they come out and
no problem.
They absolutely the community loves it. We see the response when they come into the shows, and we want to get more people to come in and see what we're doing and participate on the other side of it.
Do you feel like you get treated as celebrities when you're walking down St. Cloud?
Man, it's so cool. I've been traveling most of my adult life and for my career. So I would be in a city for maybe 18 months, and you meet people, or the people that you work with, but you don't really, your circle of friends doesn't really grow. I don't even know how to describe it. It's amazing. Doesn't come close to be able to walk down the street and have multiple people recognize you, say hi.
Love it.
That's part of the community that we're trying to instill and be part of and nurture here. So it's
awesome.
It's super cool. Yeah, it's like it really is kind of like being a little rock star in your town. That's it's cool. I love it.
I'm a firm believer that like attracts like as well. So I mean, if you guys didn't come out and show your passion and act and be so, and I say this as a fellow nerd in many areas, if you weren't so movie theater nerds and decided to put that out there, you wouldn't attract people that can also be themselves and do that thing. It's awesome to see.
Absolutely. That's kind of going back to that leadership thing. I think that's part of it. If you really are being your genuine self with people, it shines through and it rubs off, because it's always, we're always teaching. We're always teaching and always learning. So it's great. Like I said, I love that we've started this. It's been an amazing journey over the last 4 years. The different groups. One of the things I was thinking about earlier too, and sort of briefly mentioned it, was working with the police department. Like one of the coolest things about starting this was getting a call from Sergeant Souza about being part of the crisis negotiation training, where we get to go in and be part of, because they need people that don't know anything about the process to really go in and just be real people. So it's this really fun, like 5 hours of immersive improvisation with a SWAT team and a negotiator on the phone. It's cool. That's cool. It's super cool. Yeah, and a lot of fun.
Do you guys do a lot improv work here, or do you?
That's something that we're starting on. Mark Williams, he's worked with a group that was in downtown Orlando, working with some improv stuff, and he's going to bring that to our group here. So we're, again, kind of feeling out, towing the waters of
Sure.
putting on not only classes, but then doing like maybe once a month or every few weeks an improv show downtown. So
It's awesome.
Yeah.
That would be super fun.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of people getting
Yeah.
involved with that.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too. I think it would be and it's improv is such a great way of, again, kind of approaching theater where it's more imagination and being in the moment and playing with other people
Yeah.
than the structure of a play, you know. So yeah, I'm super excited. We've got so many plans, so many new things that we're working on and we want to bring to the community that sometimes it's overwhelming. It doesn't feel like it's
Right.
been 4 years.
Yeah, that was going
Yes.
to be like reflecting on it, like how fast did it go by?
It's
Like a
incredible.
blink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think the older you get too, like
Yeah, of
time
course.
tends to
Go
blink faster. But yeah, this is just like putting on 3 shows a year. It doesn't sound like a lot, but each show is about 3 months, and we have a little bit of break in between to do some of the other stuff. But it really does. You're from one
thing
production
to another.
into the other, and it's it's been a learning process because, like I said, none of us had ever really done this before.
Right.
COVID hit. I had been traveling. I kind of got stuck here, and we were sitting on Josh's porch one morning, and we were like, you know what? We should really start this thing that we've been talking a decade about doing. So, and he'd been talking to Mark for about the same amount of time, and it just worked out that we were all together, and we were like, let's
Right.
let's
Yeah.
go, let's do this.
And here you are.
And here we are.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's really, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And then can you tell the significance of your logo with the colors? Is
Yeah.
there any significance with the colors?
They're creative. They,
They're
of
just-
course,
I know.
there's deep
there has to be
significance.
significance. Right?
So
The
yeah.
cloud, obviously, we get.
The cloud, yeah. Josh came up with the cloud. So the original logo was just the words "theater in the cloud" with the little cloud, and I was playing around. I'm an artist. I love to play, and I just took our colors that represent St. Cloud, but they also represent us, the founders, and just put those behind there. I was just kind of playing around, and then it turned
Okay.
into
Well, there you
turned
go.
into that. So that's the
Awesome.
St. Cloud, the water, the foliage, the sunshine.
Nice.
And that's kind of our personalities as well.
Yeah.
I'll let other people decide which which one's which.
Which one's which?
It's a real malleable, moldable logo as well. Like if
Yeah.
you take colors, you can match those to events. You can
Right.
match those to a lot of things. So
Yeah,
It's very
absolutely.
broad.
Yeah. And it's the idea of playing. We just kind of
Yeah, no, I
we,
love it. I
we
love
tend
it.
to play a lot here, so that's the best.
You
part
have
about
to.
it.
That's the curse of creativity, is what I call it.
Yeah, no, you're always kind of, I think the hardest part is getting out of your own way and not being a perfectionist about it.
Yeah.
You just have to, there's the saying of like being good enough or having something good enough and then getting out there and knowing that it's going to get better every single time you do it
Yeah.
because you can't fail if you're planning on doing it again.
Right. Yeah. There's no failure in
There's
that.
no failure. You just get better.
So going back to the events really quick.
Yeah.
I know you got a few coming up outside of the performances.
Yes.
But you're part of the New Year's.
New Year's Eve we got coming up with the city.
So what is your involvement with?
So we essentially stage manage and host each of the 3 stages that we have. We make sure that people know what's happening, where it's happening, to get
Okay.
them moving throughout the event. And then we ring in the new year by counting down on the main stage
Nice.
with everybody. It's amazing. If you haven't been to Rock in the
Yeah.
Cloud, it's a great time. This year it's going to be all local bands. So your favorites are going to be there. It's going to be a great time. So that's basically what we do. We're the main hosts, and
Okay.
We're considering a
Alive.
podcast
yeah.
that same night.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a blast.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be super fun. It brings out a great group of people, families. It's family friendly. Obviously by midnight, some of your kids are going to be asleep, but
Right.
it's a family friendly event. There's going to be food trucks and yeah, just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I've been past couple of years, and that's grown too. I mean, St. Cloud grows, you got to grow with it. So
Right.
seeing what that's become is pretty substantial.
Yeah, and the team, again, Parks and Rec and special events are behind that, and they do a fantastic job putting it together. We've got a
Agreed.
new special events manager this year, Rose,
Rose.
and she's super awesome.
good.
Yeah, really on it, and wants to be involved and do more events downtown, which is what we're trying to do. Just creating interesting things to
course.
bring people into St. Cloud,
Yeah.
you know, and then pass them around to all of the other really cool businesses that are doing
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
you know. So, yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Did you want to have another cover? Anything else that you wanted to cover?
I actually, because I mentioned it earlier, and I just want to talk to the audience, especially since you guys are volunteers,
Yeah.
and your passion shows for your art, and I love that you're doing theater and you're doing art, and you know, coming from a working class family, especially around St. Cloud, they're very blue collar. They're very, you got to go to work, you got to do a lot of things. I just want to talk to the audience and say, you know, if you have a passion for acting, or if you want to just try it out, like, don't get caught up on, oh, that's not going to make me any money. You know, just come in here and volunteer and test it out. Like, play, express,
Yeah.
do a lot of things. Like, don't be shy behind the camera. Like, trust me, if you like movies, if you like comic books, if you like all of those things, these
Very
are your
cool.
people.
Yes, we are your people.
Yeah, find your people, and
Yeah.
and they are in St. Cloud. Even if you're in St. Cloud and you're wondering where they're at,
Yeah.
let me introduce you to them.
Here we are. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah, we're a group of people that come from a lot of different walks of life that have a passion for this, and you know, we, like I said, we love St. Cloud, and we love the community in St. Cloud, and that's really why we're doing this. So
Yeah.
anything that we can do, and you're right, it's not about money, but being involved in the theater absolutely will bring value to your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely will bring value. And that will translate into money in other endeavors.
Yeah. As long as it's a skill you can learn that will pay off.
That will pay off.
Hey,
yeah.
you don't have to go aspire to be a millionaire LA movie star, but it is a skill that will pay off, and it's fun.
And it's fun. It's an absolute blast. We really do have a great time
That's good.
putting these on. Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
anybody looking for a skill, entertainment, or to be entertained, of course, find Theater in the Cloud, come to a show, get involved.
Yeah, and like I said, we have deep experience in the entertainment world. I was a professional magician for my first career. I'm still a magician now, but I performed every day for almost 20 years.
Right.
And Josh was a professional magician. Like I said, he has an entertainment company. He's a host. He acts. Mark is a wonderful, wonderful teacher with our actors. He brings a passion for acting and a perspective of acting that really connects the person to what it is that they're doing. It's, if you're at all interested, come in, see what it's about, and you'll be better off for it for
Yeah,
sure.
I will say again, just like remember that, and I've said this to quite a few people in my time, especially when they're pouring their soul onto me, is the opposite of depression is expression.
Yes.
So find a place to express.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's great. I'm stealing that.
Okay.
Great artists steal.
Yes, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's
Thank
been
you
a
so
Yeah,
much for sitting
absolutely.
down.
Thank
It's
you,
been a
guys.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
absolutely. This is super awesome. I'm so glad that you guys
this
are
has
doing
been
this
great.
as well.
Yeah.
We really need this in the
Yeah.
community, a place for people to come to find out what's going on and get
Agreed.
connected, you know.
And
Yeah.
have our conversations and just putting it out there so people know, about
Yeah.
the events and upcoming, we're going to be at the market and do a couple lives as well for the
Nice,
podcast.
beautiful,
So,
yeah.
So looking forward to it. But
Awesome.
this podcast, this episode is brought to you by this time by United Construction Solutions and All Seasons Seamless Gutters, two great gentlemen that just want to see us grow and continue moving. So thank you to them, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
huge
it.
appreciation for that. We couldn't continue doing this without our sponsors.
Without our
So,
sponsors.
As
Same.
you know,
Yeah,
it takes
absolutely.
It takes
you
a
know,
team.
it takes a village.
And we'll continue to grow and continue to get more sponsors as well. So we're excited for that.
Yes.
And as always, like and subscribe, because with that, we continue to grow as well.
Yeah. So I'm Dalton.
Appreciate it.
That's Jason. That's Jason. This has been your latest episode of Three Bald Guys. I'm kidding. But as always, I'm inviting you to find your way to live and now act in St. Cloud.
Cloud.
So thank you guys.
See you around.